we're in the Okay. So we also have Linda Johnson, a nurse practitioner here with us. And so real quick, before I ask Melanie and Jenny to speak, and she is Dr. Baker, but a lot of times I call her Jenny, but she is Dr. She deserves her letters beside her name, absolutely. And she's an ER physician, so double time. Gosh. But just I know for you probably in here you have seen my recent before and after pictures, which were very hard for me to post, so I know you probably didn't see them, but I'll send them to Linda and she can show them to you. But I did get started on these probably, when did we get our box? Mid-November. And you know what my mindset was? Oh, we're about to go into the holidays, why take these? Like, I am going to eat and drink and be merry. Well, that's not what Jamie, my sister-in-law, did. She stayed on them. I did not. And she lost weight, eat and drinking and being merry. And I was like, holy Toledo, Batman, all of a sudden, and you should see her pictures. I mean, she's just so thin. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, you didn't stop. And I did. So I think I gained weight in November and December because I ate, drank, and was married. And so I think by January, even Jaden was like, I can't believe you post that picture. My hair was like this. She was like, please, can to Dr. Baker, yes, and she, it was how I felt. It was what I thought of me. All the things.
Look, it'll fix your hair and your body.
Yeah. It looked like a mug. It really looked like a mug shot. And another thing I knew, and even not in my arms, I mean, just showing my arms, I have not. So what made me do my after picture, honestly, even though my arms may seem still really big on that, but I was getting ready and I was curling my hair and I went, oh my gosh, I think my arms look thin. I've done zero exercise, zero working out, because that's what I wanted to prove, was that you could still see visceral fat be removed and feel good. I mean, I want to exercise. Now, the thing about it, it's made me go, I want to exercise, not out of like duty, but out of like delight and longing. And so, with no like pressure. So I'm glad that, I've had several people join this, and I joke with Melanie because you should see her visceral fat has gone down, her muscle mass has gone up, her cellular hydration has gone up, but she wasn't that big. And I mean, but still the point is she did nothing. And I mean, she was like, I went from, looking great to now amazing, like, so it just kind of, but still the point is data doesn't lie, and it was her BMI. So it was still great results. So, but now I'm ready to get back in, and now I'm ready to work out and see. I know when Dr. Baker starts breaking down what fit is and how it's going to help. But before I ask Melanie also to come up, well, Linda, maybe in just a second, as a nurse practitioner, really quick, can you just kind of tell us why why are you recommending these? Dr. Baker is a physician, but she's an ER physician, and so you actually see also patients that you can refer. So both of y'all just have great resources and credibility. So I'm going to turn it around really quick and just, if you don't mind sharing that.
Sure. Yeah, so I do
Jane, can you see her?
Aesthetic treatments on the side, and people are always have been asking me about the skinny shot, if you will. And I personally took it myself a few years ago and lost weight, and then when I got off of it, gained it all back plus more, and then realized I lost a ton of muscle. So that was very disappointing. And then now the research has come out up to 40% muscle loss from the weight loss. So that's not good. We need our muscle. And not that it's not for, it's maybe a good tool for some people. It's not for everybody. And so there's probably a lot of people on it that shouldn't be on it. And maybe they don't know that they're losing muscle too. But anyway, and so I just had patients that were asking me to prescribe it, and I really didn't want to because it's a lot of oversight, medical oversight. Dr. Baker and I were just talking about that. there's a
Yeah.
lot of side effects that can happen. But anyhow, so I was personally looking for something that I could refer to other people, and I never do anything without trying it first. And so my friend Maddie, who's not here tonight, was talking about it, and she's a fitness instructor, and so I trusted her, and I started taking it in December, just like you said, and thought, well, I might as well just do it now because I'm gonna eat and drink everything I want. Let's see what happens. Well, I didn't gain any weight, and I've been really kind of struggling with some things, but I also noticed that I felt better just taking the lean, not even taking the fit. Like I have some joint pain and muscle pain that I've been battling, and it just was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, that was enough for me to stay on it. And then just feeling good on it. And so I started trying the other products, and then also lost a few pounds, not a whole lot, maybe 3 to 4 pounds, but lost inches.
Yeah.
And could tell, just like you said, it was like, wait a minute, I have a little bit of definition there that I didn't have before. And not working out and eating good, maybe not the best. I'm sure I could do better with that, but still eating pretty good and trying to be diligent with my diet. But noticing with inches being lost and clothes fitting better and all that. So that's just exciting to be able to offer something that doesn't require a prescription, doesn't have a lot of side effects. It's very safe. It doesn't interact with things. And for most people, it's been working good. So.
Yeah. Okay, Melanie, Jean?
All right. Well, my name is Melanie Avier. If I don't know you, I don't know all of you. So I'm going to share a few very interesting, fascinating points before Dr. Baker explains each one of the products. We have 6, so she'll go do an overview of each one of the products. 4 of them have peptides in them. But when I first heard about this company, this was in August, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a scientist, and I have no medical background at all, but my background is in data and communication and taking complex topics, condensing them, simplifying them, and then communicating them to the masses. I was a broadcast journalism. That's what I did for a living. I was a news anchor and a reporter for more than a decade. And then I retired and I started growing businesses, and I am always open to a good business opportunity. So for me, that's what opened my eyes to see what was happening here when I got a call from a business advisor who said, you need to look at this company. And I said, time for a business. Are you kidding me? And this. She said, Melanie, you have to look at this. Well, within 24 hours, I was in, because we're not looking for any financial investors, just so you know. There's no upfront cost for that. And so what I saw was the world of health and wellness changing. I knew that the injections were so common. Everybody I spoke to over the next 2 months had heard of Ozempic, semaglutide. How many of you have heard of peptides? Okay, yeah. How many of you have heard of Ozempic and semaglutide and tirzepatide? Everybody, right? So those are synthetic peptides. They're made in a lab, and we know that they're very effective for weight loss, and they're very common right now. But I think one of you said it earlier, 40% on average is what people are losing in muscle. So they're looking at the weight, very happy that they're losing the weight, but 40% of it is from muscle. And you could have 2 people who each weigh 150 pounds, one's full of fat and one's full of muscle. So we want to get you concentrated on looking at the body composition, because losing that muscle will set you up to be susceptible to diseases later in life and all kinds of health problems, not longevity, not health. And so that's a real problem right now in our world. And everybody knows it. And when I tell them, every medical doctor I've spoken to over the next couple of months, and every holistic practitioner, normally those 2 sides don't see eye to eye. When I bring up holistic solutions to medical doctors, not you, but a lot of medical doctors, they just kind of glaze through them, and they're like, oh, all natural, I want to see the clinical trials. Well, as soon as I knew we had double-blind, third-party human clinical trials dating back for most of the past decade, all the doctors look at it, and they all say, oh, this is going to be big. But also the holistic practitioners look at it and know it's going to be big. And so basically it's solutions for all of our common ailments that are healthy, that have no side effects, so that's why I'm real passionate about it. But I'll tell you real quick, if you want to go to the next slide, the difference between, if you think you've heard of peptides, the difference between synthetic peptides and all natural, what we offer is called bioactive precision peptides. Number one, the injections, the synthetic peptides have to be injected. They can't pass through the gut and work. Your body won't recognize them because they are a foreign substance. You have to go right exactly where it needs to be absorbed. Also, they're very expensive. Sometimes insurance pays for it, but I mean, I talked to somebody the other day who was paying $600 for the injections. They're very expensive. They're hard to get. They're complicated. And as you guys mentioned, they have to be overseen usually by a medical professional. So they're more complex. And then they have the side effects. Most importantly, the loss of muscle. So what we offer has 0 side effects. The clinical results were done over a 12 to 20 week period. So don't think if you want to lose weight and gain muscle, don't think that you'll lose 25 pounds in a week or two. Mm-hmm. There is a select group of people that are what we call hyper responders who respond pretty quickly in a week or two, but we really don't like to promote that. I think that would set you up for failure because there's another group of people who have very slow and steady results because these are cell signaling. She'll talk more about that. But this isn't like a quick fix. And then there's a third group of people who actually kind of go through a detox period first. So as you open your mind to listen to all the benefits that these products can have, keep in mind that really you want to give it 12 weeks to see the full effect of that. And then one more thing, what really brought me to be so, one more. I was telling you the difference between the synthetic and the natural. So this lab in Ireland is what is so fascinating. Oh my gosh, it's St. Patrick's Day. It's like the lab in Ireland. Okay. And it's fascinating because the founders of this company discovered this lab in Ireland that was using, here's what's so revolutionary. It's not the ingredients. The ingredients, if you're the type who looks at ingredients, you're like, well, what's so revolutionary about this? These are all natural. These have been around for longer than us. There are trillions of peptides in the world. Been around a lot longer than us. What is so revolutionary is that they're using this AI technology to identify what exact peptides, which are a chain of amino acids, and they're naturally produced. And by the way, you probably had them in your mother's breast milk. Those are all natural peptides. So how the heck can you figure out what peptides in the plants and the foods that we eat could work together in the exact right formula to produce these results? That's what this lab in Ireland has, this proprietary data platform. So it's not just a product, it's a platform, because there are so many more in the works that our doctors and scientists, we have a team of more than 1,000 of them with whom we work, and they have 30 something more products in the pipeline to release in the next 3 years. So what you will hear tonight is just the beginning, okay? So they've launched this to the United States now, but this is going to be global. So keep that in mind too, because you have the opportunity to help spread this, not with any cost, except word of mouth. It's just the time that it takes to lay the foundation for this. So I'll answer any questions on that part of it in the end, but I'll turn it over to Dr. Jenny Baker to talk about the fascinating science behind our products.
Okay, if y'all are okay with this, I'd like to sit and talk about this instead of standing in front of y'all. I have not actually seen these slides yet or given this presentation officially, but I will talk about what each product does and give y'all a little bit oversight into all of them. So FIT. FIT is going to be one of our ones that I guess was promoted the most when we started out. And I feel like it's one of the ones that is going to help the most amount of people. Not everybody needs their muscle mass to be able to live a long, healthy life. We want to be able to live to be 70 and do all the things that we want to do. Without that muscle mass, that's going to decline a lot faster. And so we're not going to be able to do this. So FIT uses several things in it. One of them is their metabolic matrix technology and the PeptiStrong Plus. Mm-hmm. And so we support, and let me see what these say real quick. So it does support natural muscle recovery, the muscle recovery process. It protects the normal muscle mass without the muscle loss. And then it reduces recovery time after exercise. It reduces chronic low-grade inflammation. So the inflammation you get from working out your muscles, of course, it will help that. But it can also help just chronic inflammation that you have within your body. And a lot of people have noticed that that's been a big benefit. It also increases your metabolism. Now, I could literally, if y'all wanted me to, I could go into all the little individual details, but I don't think it's necessary. And if anybody wants to know that, we can go through each individual thing that is part of this. But I will say, one of the ones y'all have probably heard of the NAD injections. A lot of people are doing NAD injections because it gives so many benefits. Our Fit increases your body's NAD levels by 2.7 fold with just one dose of it. It boosts energy. It's involved in brain health. It helps with the muscle recovery, cardiovascular health, decreases pain, increases metabolism. It does all of those things in and of itself. When you combine it with all of the other ingredients in it, it makes everything work better. Another ingredient in Fit that is very well known and needs to be known is magnesium. So magnesium, your body needs for over, is it 300? I think 300 different things within the body. Now, the magnesium in here also, without it, it would not, the vitamin D, B6, and B12 would not work as well if the magnesium wasn't there. So they kind of put a bunch of this all together to make it happen. It does have caffeine. Fit does have caffeine. It's all natural source. I want to say it's coffee bean flour extract. And so it doesn't provide like an increase in a crash. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in particular. Are there any questions about the Fit that y'all might have just really quick that I could answer about it before
When you
we
talk
move on?
about the inflammation, like my mother-in-law has RA, is that the inflammation you're referring to?
It potentially could be. I think on each person it's going to be individualized. Can I use you, Bernie? So Bernie had plantar fasciitis, and after taking the Fit, she hasn't had another issue with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Really?
go ahead.
My daughter-in-law's a physical therapist, and so she had
Yeah.
given me exercise,
Mhm.
you know, do this in the middle of the night when you wake up and stretch and blah, blah, blah. And I really didn't even realize that was gonna be an added benefit of Fit. And, y'all, it's just so random. One night, I got up in the night to go to the restroom, and I thought, oh my goodness, I mean, I can walk with no pain. That's when it would hurt the worst for me, was in the middle of the night, so,
you first get.
yeah.
And so I would say something that, you know, it's not going to hurt her to try it. And if it benefits her, this is not a medication. It's all natural stuff that she already has in her body, but it's replenishing it and making it work better. So it's always an option to try. We can't make those claims, of course, because it's not studied on individual things. But if it's going to help, you'll be able to take it and notice it. And I mean, I think that's the benefit too. If it works, it works. Regardless if it's for RA, plantar fasciitis, or whatever type of inflammation you might have. I had somebody else told me about something they had, and I can't remember it right now. But it was like some chronic things that had been going on, and it actually helped once they started taking the Fit.
Yeah, I had like knee pain. Like if I did work out, then my right knee has a lot of issues. It always has since I was a teenager, and it doesn't hurt when I'm so. It's awesome. Definitely, that's the only thing that's changed.
I have a tendency when I work out too much, like I get headaches or like I get brain fog. Like, would that probably cause that with the caffeine? I don't know. Like,
What you mean cause it with the caffeine?
no, I've taken other energy, like I did
Uh-huh.
Beachbody energy, and I noticed after a while it made me like dizzy sometimes after working out.
It's hard to compare
Yeah.
because I don't know what was
Right.
necessarily in them. So
Because I was doing like big time workout with Beachbody.
yeah. And the other thing is that sometimes when you like take these energy supplements
Yes.
and like pre-workout, they do different things.
Right.
And
So
like,
you take Fit right before you work out, or
so I think you can do it is a great pre-workout.
Yes.
I actually take it after.
Okay.
So I come home from my bar class in the morning, I mix my Fit and my Hydrate, and I
Okay.
drink it after I come back from
So
bar.
maybe that'd be a great. Okay.
So
So you don't do it before you do
it.
that.
I do it after because my bar is at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
See,
I
I
take
would
it
work out in the afternoon after teaching all day. It's
Yeah.
like I need something.
Yeah. So then I would probably take before that because it has the caffeine and
I
you
know.
don't want to take it too late in the day.
Well,
So no
that's-
matter when you take it, I think it's going to be
Yeah.
beneficial.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Depends on when I exercise.
the only other thing I'll say about
Yeah.
Fit
Right.
is if you have a fava bean allergy, you cannot take Fit. That's one of the things because it is made with some fava bean components. So
A student in my class has all.
Of course it
Right.
does.
I'm like,
What is that?
it's a genetic disorder.
Okay,
that causes it.
I was
So
like-
they like are deficient in G6PD,
6PD.
so they
Yeah.
can't do that. So you're born with it. You'll know it's off the baby panel.
Can you add anything about the protein synthesis of like 4 times greater than whey protein?
Oh, yes, yes, actually, I did have that down. So, the protein synthesis is increased 4 times when compared to whey protein. And there's actually 103% strength recovery when taking this, whereas there's only like 68% taking whey protein. So you have an added benefit of taking this over whey, at least in certain categories of that. There's a 54% increase in performance. So athletes can take this stuff. You know, of course, it's not anything that's regulated, so it should be okay for anybody to take and potentially have all these benefits from it.
Is there an age cutoff?
Our age is 18, I believe, and then of course you can talk to your doctor about any of it. And I know there have been people that have used it, and not necessarily fit, but some of the products in less than 18-year-olds, and they've seen benefit and it's helped. But as far as the company goes, it's 18.
And there's no medical, like no medicine interactions or no.
Not with any of them. Actually no, not with any of them. There shouldn't be, because these are peptides we already have. It's not giving you anything that your body wouldn't recognize. So
Would she need to talk to her rheumatologist, her cardiologist, like all of that?
So
before
a
she
lot
got
of
on
these
it?
actually help cardiovascular health. So a lot of these components do. We're always going to say talk to them but I don't think it's going to be an issue with her taking it in addition to what she normally takes. I think it should be fine. But yeah, definitely talk to them, because I mean, they've known her for so much longer that, you know, you want to make sure that they know that she's taking these things. But it should not react with anything that she has.
I have a quick question
Mhm.
too. So in looking at this, because they work on a cellular level, does this allow people who have methylation disorders to better absorb the peptides through, like, to better absorb vitamins by taking the peptides? Do you know? If there's
So
anything
to
there?
give you the definite answer on that, I'd have to look into a little bit more, but theoretically, yes, it should help.
And what was the question?
Especially the hydrated.
So if taking these can help people that have certain deficiencies absorb the other ones better. Hydrate, yes, definitely could benefit. And I think all of them in certain things would, because like with FIT, you're getting magnesium, which some things are not absorbed without the magnesium. So people that are deficient, like I would say in alcoholics, if magnesium is low, you'll never be able to replace their potassium. So they have to have the magnesium first before the potassium can be replaced. So I can see how, yes, it could benefit in certain things. It would I'd have to look into it more to give you specifics on it. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, it does. I'm just, because this whole proposed thing about that cascade of like methylation and how you absorb things would be this would be my interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be the next thing to know.
Yeah.
Because if the bioactive proteins actually help people to better methylate, then not just what's in the not what's in the peptides will be absorbed properly, but their dietary.
So we can definitely,
You're done.
and that's something I can do research on to look up for y'all. That's not a problem with me. These things, I will say this, I was not very good at biochemistry in college. It was not my favorite subject, but listening to them has made like this whole new, like I've been fascinated with it. And it's become it's just become something that I've been way more interested in than I ever was. Like maybe if they were my professors in school, this would have been a lot better. So, or that in school would have been a lot better. Anything else before we move on? Are y'all okay with this kind of conversation?
Yeah,
Is this
I love
good?
it.
Okay, all right. Because I'm not one that likes to stand in front of people and just talk. I feel like if y'all have questions, that's the better thing is for me to answer.
this one.
Okay, so lean. Lean is our one that we have, I don't want to say compare, but could be compared to the synthetic injectable peptides for weight loss. I will start this off by saying lean is not a substitute for taking the synthetic peptides for diabetes. So if anybody has diabetes and they're doing these Ozempic and these others for their sugar levels, this is not a replacement. They need to stay on that and talk to their doctor. Fit could be a great addition. Lean could even be a great addition, but not alone. The diabetes part, the medicine trumps this all the time. But in those that are taking it for weight loss, lean basically works in certain ways to help control the appetite. You will have decreased cravings. Your baseline metabolic and thermogenic states are going to increase, so you have a higher calorie burn at rest. And that's all done without harmful stimulants. And then it helps your body perform better under stress just by improving your overall metabolic health. In these studies that they've done, the weight loss is all from fat loss, not muscle loss. And that is the other added benefit. I think we mentioned that a little earlier. So when you take the synthetic peptides, you're losing weight, but you're losing muscle mass as well as fat loss. Lean showed no muscle mass loss in the weight loss. 100% was from fat loss. And then it's targeted to like all your visceral fat. Let's see, there was something else I was about to say about that. And my mind just went blank for a second, but if I think of it, I'll come back and say it. With the lean, they have actually just redone, and it's like lean 2.0. We've added 2 new things to our lean. One is CoQ10 and the other one is L-carnitine. Now, the L-carnitine actually increases fatty acid uptake into the cells. The fatty acids are released when you are breaking down the fats and everything. And so in some people, this is like is in excess. And so they can have not side effects, but you have just all these fatty acids that are kind of hanging around. And it's a little bit of like stomach discomfort. The L-carnitine should counteract that because it helps to bring the free fatty acids into the cells. And then the CoQ10 actually enhances the function of the mitochondria in the cells, which pulls more into it to make it overall work better. So adding these 2 is just going to make the function of lean that much better. I'm trying to think of what questions do y'all have about lean. Let's go with that because I can probably answer some more than just me giving y'all information.
When is it available, did y'all say?
Now.
Oh, now.
Now, this week is the first week it's coming out. So they're basically just changing over from the old version to the new version.
Did it give
Don't
gastric
worry.
discomfort?
Promise.
Is that what you were saying?
Some people only because of the amount of fatty acids that were released, and it doesn't sound like to me because I didn't have a lot of patients. Listen to me, sorry. A lot of people that said about it, but it was just what I understood from Dr. Allen talking was that it was because of the fatty acids that they were having discomfort because their body wasn't able to absorb them as fast as they would be.
My husband took a pack from Melaleuca that I was giving him, the peak performance, and he was sick. And he was like, I don't ever want to take another vitamin again. And so he wouldn't take it. So I'm wondering if that's something with, I was wondering if he would be able to take this and not feel sick when you said that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's not, and it's probably not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the same compounds. It's not gonna be the precision peptides that are targeting a certain thing. So I think it would definitely be a plus for him to try it. The other thing they did tell us about this is that the normal dosage is 2. If for any reason somebody takes it, doesn't notice any benefits or anything from it, actually back down to 1. Start with 1 for a little while and then increase it to 2, just to allow your body to get used to it and then perform how it's supposed to function.
Wait, should we start with 1 if we've been doing this? No, just
No,
do like
it says
we
start
are.
with 2
Okay.
because it's not a huge amount of people that it happens to, but when it does happen, it's beneficial to back down to 1 and then take it for a while and then increase.
Are you saying 2 at the same time or morning and evening?
So the recommendation is just to take them at the same time. Like that's how it's supposed to. Now I know some people that have done it 2 separate times a day, and if you feel like that works for you, then that's fine. Sorry, I need support.
Okay.
But, and don't you take yours at night? Or
I
you
take
still-
2 in the morning, and
There was
actually,
somebody that took them at night because they were hungry in the morning, so they found that taking them at night made their hunger in the morning less.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenny, I have a
Yes.
I have a Zoom question. What the first question is, how does lean target visceral? The first part is, how does lean target visceral fat?
You make me go into all of our little tiny little things. And I'd have to tell them I'll get back to them and I'll give them the exacts. Because
Okay.
for me to come out and say that right now, I'm not gonna be telling you. I'm
Okay.
not
but part of it too is that it regulates your leptin and your ghrelin, your hunger
Yes,
and satiety
it does.
hormones. So you will find that you're not hungry as much. You don't want to snack throughout the day at all. And then when you eat, you're full quicker.
Yeah.
And that's why some people split it up and take them in the afternoons if they find that they normally like to snack more. So that's a big part of it too.
Okay, the next question to that is also, are you losing weight due to suppressing your appetite, or is it unregulating some other system?
It's actually a combination of several things. So there is appetite suppressant, like she just said, it's regulating your brain to hunger, telling your brain you're hungry faster, or it's telling your brain that you're not as hungry or having these cravings as you normally are. I want to say it was a 600 calorie reduction in the daily calorie intake that they saw in some people taking the lean. Because it regulates the ghrelin, leptin, and makes those things work. Now there, and I didn't write them down today, but there are certain things that it deregulates or it increases. So it's a combination, I would say, of both of those things.
Jenny, the CoQ10 is also heart health.
Mm-hmm.
Brain,
Sure is.
Yeah, brain and heart. And I took CoQ10 for a long time and I stopped for a while. So it's in this, so I don't even have to take it.
So does it help you focus?
No, it's like
It's cardiovascular protective. It helps
Yeah.
with the cholesterol. Actually.
Oh, that's good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lowers it.
Yeah,
So
sometimes should-
I take CoQ10, so now it's in the
My mom takes it in conjunction with her cholesterol medication because it helps it work.
Yeah. And the lean also helps with muscle mass, doesn't it?
Yeah, it protects it from being lost. So yes, and that's why since you don't lose muscle mass with taking lean, if somebody is taking a synthetic injection and they want to take lean, as long as it is not suppressing their appetite to the point that they are not eating, it is okay to take because the lean actually can, it is a protective for the
Wait, so
muscle
they can
mass as
take
well.
this in Ozempic, or is that what you're saying?
Yes, they
Okay.
can. They can.
Friend.
The fit may be a better fit for the injections, but the lean is a
Don't work out
possibility
then.
as well. You don't have to work out to
Okay,
fit.
so you don't have
Do
to
not
work out.
have to work out to
Okay,
fit.
okay, that's a good question. Okay.
No, you do not.
Okay.
And that's why I say the only
Yeah.
thing with lean is that if their appetite is suppressed with their injections to the point that they're not eating, or they could go 24 hours without eating,
You could probably.
then I would not necessarily recommend the lean. Now, some people take it, they can take the two together and they're perfectly fine. And
Okay.
have no issues with it.
Okay.
But I would not want to suppress somebody's appetite to that point
No, I
that they are not wanting to
Okay.
eat it all.
Just a good question.
What else? Any other questions about the lean?
One more.
Yes.
I was just curious because I got this question. So
Yeah.
if you are not tremendously overweight or you don't want to lose that much, do you just take half or do you
Just
take the whole
normal.
thing? Okay.
Because the peptides are regulating what's in your body. So it is activating and everything in you personally. So my reaction to the lean may not be exactly like your reaction to the lean. But it's still working the same way. It's just since our bodies are different, it may do a little, but no, take the normal dose.
And even if you only work out twice a week, let's say, you still take it every day.
Yeah.
You're talking the fit or the lane?
The length.
The lane, yeah.
You're saying
I
that if
take
somebody
my fit
doesn't
every day.
have a ton of lose,
Right.
or not really.
Any more on there or?
Yeah, like how you said, I think you posted this, but you said something about the lean not being a stimulant, but optimizes
Right,
the cells.
right.
So kind of it's giving a regeneration to those cells that are supposed to be doing this.
Yes.
On their own
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
And so it's not like you're just gonna like losing a ton of weight that you don't have. It's more just keeping your
Right.
body in the gear to go, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it.
To optimizing what your body is supposed to be doing anyway. Yes, Jill.
Okay. What is a peptide? And explain what a peptide
Yeah,
is. Because
yeah.
I know 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it in my life. So I think this is actually a great question. They
Yeah.
said, this must be done. I was like, it's actually a great question. Because I know a lady was here the other day, one of Jonathan's friends, and she said, my daughter has been on peptides, but there's a difference in peptides and bioactive precision peptides. So that's a great question. If you want to.
Yeah. So peptides are basically small chain amino acids that signal your cells to do certain jobs. So you have a protein, the smaller one is the amino acid, and then the smaller than that is the peptide. So the peptides are working with your cells to activate, deactivate, make things happen that are supposed to happen, but may need the push from what it's supposed to be getting. It's not like a vitamin or supplement where you're just putting a vitamin into your body and that's it. This actually acts with the cells to make certain biochemical processes happen. The precision peptides target a certain thing. So the lean is going specifically for fat loss and weight loss and decreased cravings like that. It is targeted specifically toward that. The fit toward building muscle, increasing recovery, decreasing inflammation. So these are precise peptides to target a certain thing. The lab in Ireland that they were talking about earlier has, done this research for years. Peptides have always been there, but with AI now, they can target them and find them a lot easier. So it's making it easier for them to find what actually works in the body. Because if you're taking a peptide from a plant in Ireland or the same peptide from a plant in Africa, it may not work the same way. And so they're looking for the specific peptide that is going to work like the ones in our bodies. Does that make sense? And does that answer your question? Or would you like more information? Anybody else? Well, if they're going to answer. Anything else on the lean?
I do have another question because I did take the shot just for, I wanted to try it and lose a few pounds because I was just like at a plateau where I couldn't lose 5 pounds. And I found that it affected me mentally after. So I was able to take the generic for a couple of months. I was on it a few months, and I never wanted to go higher than like the 0.5 because I didn't like the way it made me feel. So I would say 0.25, and so I took the generic, and then when she was like, "Hey, I got the Roll Ozempic, and you want to try it?" I did. The first time I tried it, and I don't know the difference between all of that, but it almost put me into like a very depressive state with this crazy onslaught in my brain. Like I was like, what is happening to me? And I have never taken it.
Yes.
I was like, God, if you get me through this dark time in my life, I will never put that in my body again. And that's when I stopped.
I have heard that before, not necessarily from Ozempic, but there have been others that have done that because they're lab made. And so your body is processing something synthetic. And I'm going to explain it this way because I was actually having this conversation with my sister. It causes you to want to avoid food. It causes you to want to avoid situations with food. So you basically are kind of just going into yourself and being like you said, like at a depressive state because you're trying to avoid all these triggers that you had. Why that happens, I'm not exactly sure. I would have to look into that to know. But you're not the first person that has said that's happened. And it's your body trying to process something that's not real, or it's real, but it's not, it's maze. The synthetic ones are supposed to last in your body. Their half-life is like a week.
They last way longer.
Yeah, right. But the precision natural peptides are immediate. They go to work, they do what they're supposed to do, and they're gone. And they're
So
gone.
she told the doctor that I was seeing that was given to me, she said it's doing something to a hormone in my brain. Like it was saying a feel good or something that was like telling me I was full or food wasn't satisfying me, giving me the the high, if you will,
Yeah.
that you get from food. And so I was just wondering if this does anything to that way.
Not that, no, no, it should not, because the process of the regulation of these is just is with the basic peptides. It's not something that's not supposed to be there. And I'm thinking that the fact that it's synthetic and made, that there's something that's in that that's causing an additional effect of that. Okay. You want to move on? We got a lot. I'm sorry. I talk when we start talking about this. Sorry. Okay, so energized. I guess we can do that one. So the energized is our one that does clean, sustained energy, basically. It is 100 milligrams of caffeine. It is the natural coffee bean flour extract. It gives you an immediate release, but then it's slow release throughout the day. So it doesn't give you that, I'm energetic, and then you have that crash. It's not there. It doesn't use the sugar. It doesn't have anything, the artificial dyes, anything that the normal energy drinks may have. 1 in 5 adults has chronic fatigue and tiredness. 75% say they feel stressed regularly. And then 30% consume energy drinks on a daily basis. And the energy drinks, if you read the labels on those things, are absolutely ridiculous. So this is a way to actually get your body what you need and that energy that you need without.
I want to interject here
Yes.
too, because those loaded teas,
Yes.
the same thing. They're trash. It's
Yes.
terrible for you, and this is way better.
And it's not even a tea. I don't know why I call it a loaded tea.
Yeah.
Like the first time I had one, it was at work, of course,
Yeah.
in the ER, and somebody's like, "Oh, we're buying these for everybody." And I had one, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I drinking? This is not tea. This is
Nurses.
crap in a drink. I don't even know." But
Kool-Aid.
what this does is it increases your energy from a cellular level. There are certain peptides with like the ginseng in this. It decreases mental fatigue. It supports healthy serotonin and dopamine levels, so actually helps with mood. It helps just to fight the fatigue.
Jaden takes it.
Really?
Energized.
Yeah.
I love it. I take it every day.
Yeah.
What time?
I take it like 8:30.
In the morning.
Yeah. And it lasts me pretty much all day. Like 4 o'clock, I'm like, if I want to have late night, I'll pick another one. But
Go out.
Jenny, I was gonna ask you, okay, so like energized, over time, does it actually build more or is it a day-to-day thing? I mean, just because the peptides, you said they do their thing and then
Yeah.
they're done.
It's a day-to-day thing.
It's a day-to-day thing.
Chronic, like over time, your body, yes, is getting healthier because you're
With
helping
this,
to add
it's
these.
getting healthy,
But
right.
at the same time, you need them. I mean, so no, if you don't want to take them all the time, you don't have to. But the immediate peptide release is that day. It doesn't have a long half-life to give you the side effects and
Or
stuff
as
that
needed.
other things.
Is this
Yeah.
more as
As
needed
needed.
versus?
I use it as needed, but
Yeah.
it can be in everything.
Do you use all of them?
I use all of them.
Okay.
Yes,
I
and
do
I can tell y'all how I use them if y'all want once we're done with all this. But for me, Energize is an as needed because
Yeah.
I take the Fit every day and that has
That's enough
caffeine.
caffeine.
And so if I feel like I need the extra in a day, then I will take an Energize. There are days where I mix all of them together and I will drink it all at the same time because I feel like I'm just.
I
having a
needed
good
it.
day.
So like with energized, I mean, I've taken it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I mean, probably 5 times.
You feel like you're like, doesn't feel like your heart's racing and you're like.
No, no.
Okay, that's
It's,
good.
it's great. It is
I'll take
even
that.
Steven, and I'm very sensitive to caffeine, but so what's the shelf life, so to speak? So how long is it lasting, y'all? Like, if I want to be more energized in the afternoon, should I take it at 2 and then go on? I mean, I haven't noticed how
I
long.
think it depends on your how you take caffeine because there are some people who can drink caffeine all day. Like they can drink cups of coffee in the morning and then drink cups of coffee at 6 at night and they can still go to bed at 9. But there are other people that if they ingest caffeine after a certain time of the day, that they're not going to sleep.
Or it gives you the shakes. like
And
in the
so
afternoon.
I haven't heard of that really with this, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Very
it's going to depend on what your personal body takes, because if you are one that reacts to caffeine and it does actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
do that, then don't take it late because you don't want to stay up all night.
I take mine every morning and I mix it with the hydrate, and it has replaced my morning coffee.
Oh,
Yeah, and then I take the Fit in the afternoon.
I do a mushroom coffee. So I do that, but I love that.
But no sugars, no synthetic additives, the natural caffeine, slow release, so no crash. The color is from blue spirulina, so it's not even artificial dyes. The flavor is from raspberry extracts. So it's a blue raspberry flavor. I didn't say that.
I'm interested to talk about hydrate.
Yes. You want to talk about hydrate next? I don't think that
Whatever's next. No,
next I think is going to be focus, because that's our last peptide.
I want to know when you take focus. I'm interested.
I need this.
Okay, so our focus. So focus is our last peptide technically. So we have 4 peptides and then two products that are our peptide supports. So focus is our last peptide. So anybody that says they have mom brain, they have brain fog, they have feel mentally fatigued,
Too many
this
tabs open all
is
day long.
this is the one for them. Focus actually is very technical, and like to get into everything, it would be a very expensive process to tell you what does what and how it does it. But the focus will increase the cerebral circulation.
Can you get increase what?
Cerebral circulation, so it allows more blood flow to the brain, basically taking the nutrients in, and so bringing more to the brain to allow for better function. It actually protects your brain cells for the mental clarity. It prevents neuron damage and improves cognitive function.
I need to be taking this more often.
You need to be taking it more often. I know I do too. It's one that I should be taking way more often.
Especially when you're on.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when would you take focus in the morning? I mean, whenever you need to focus.
I would think it depends. Like if I'm not doing anything on a day,
Don't need it. So
I'm
it's more
gonna
as
take the
it-
focus.
as needed.
But if I'm gonna have a full day of doing things, then I take my
Teach all
focus.
day. I mean,
I take it. But that's just me. Some people want it every day.
I do.
And that's
Yeah.
yeah.
You see a
And the-
difference.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's meant to be taken every day. It's meant to be used like that because it actually does, like I just said, protects your neurons, prevents that damage, actually pulls more blood flow into the brain to allow more nutrients into the brain. So it's helping overall. So there's 4 things in the Power Blend. I actually specifically wrote these down because these are kind of a little bit easier to go through, I guess. So the ginkgo in it. This is the one that is going to improve concentration and fight the brain fatigue. So that's the part of that, our Cognitive Focus Power Blend. The Glutamax protects against eye strain and blue light exposure. So if you are looking at a screen all day, the compound in this is going
Which-
to help to protect.
Most of us are.
Yeah, most of us look at screens way too frequently. You also have a phospholipid that supports cell integrity, cognitive function, and memory. And then the bacopa extract decreases anxiety, supports memory, and enhances cognitive function.
I didn't realize focus decreased anxiety.
Oh, I need that.
I knew calm did, but I didn't realize that.
Focus does parts of it
It's
do.
because you're not worried about focusing on everything that causes you to forget.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It does a lot of things, and actually there's discussion of whether or not it actually helps prevent future cognitive decline in certain mental.
Does it help with cognitive decline? Those who have it.
So I don't think that there have been studies specifically for that.
Can it regenerate?
I
Somebody
don't think there
shared
are.
at our.
But they shared that they
At
were
Elizabeth,
taking it.
that
and
there
it's
was
helped.
there was cognitive decline in one of the dementia patients, and something in it.
It's supposed to help.
So we.
I don't know if are there studies that have
Not that I-
that have proven it, no, but I think it, I mean theoretically, by the mechanisms that it does.
I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Something I think is really exciting because we're talking about there are 6 products, 4 of them are peptides, and then 2 of the other ones are supportive. But and I don't know if you knew, for Linda, I don't know, but at the convention this past weekend, the newest peptide that will be released by January will be a peptide that helps with sleeping. Because calm is not to sleep. It still lower your dopamine levels and your serotonin, right? Cortisol. Thank you. Yeah, fit is your dopamine. And it helps me relax, but it's not supposed to keep you asleep. Whereas
The calm.
Yeah.
Like put you to sleep.
Y'all want to talk about those? Any more questions on focus? Because we can move to the other 2 if y'all want to. Yeah.
So Dr. Baker, would you say that the focus just helps your brain work more efficiently? That'd be like a good kind of.
It would be. Yeah.
Okay.
Helps it work more efficiently.
We have seen several people get off of ADHD medicine.
Yes.
Obviously, we can't make any medical claims, and there's obviously a wide spectrum of ADHD symptoms. So,
Just taking this?
yes, there have been multiple people. This and Calm, specifically this and Calm, although Calm's not a
Is this
peptide.
still though 18 and older?
I have a friend who's letting her child she's a nurse and she's letting her child take it and he's under 18. But yes, everything's 18 and
He
older.
said he's under.
That's
how
what the
old?
company
He's
says.
14.
Many people are giving it to their kids. I mean,
They're looking at the ingredient.
Yeah.
Because it's all natural.
Okay with it.
Yeah.
So studies aren't done on anybody's
I would think it'd be a whole demographic of clinical studies. It'd be adolescent. Yeah. It'd be an adolescent.
And they will eventually get a kid, turn up, but yeah.
All right, let's get hydrated.
Y'all ready? I know we're kind of taking a long time. So hydrated is our peptide support. It actually, it comes in our muscle and metabolic collection, which is a combination of the lean, fit, and hydrated, excuse me. Basically, it provides the adequate electrolyte levels that will improve the synthesis and activation of the bioactive peptides. So taking the hydrated prepares your cells and make them more eager to take the peptides. That's basically the bottom line. It's going to optimize the function and availability of the peptides. So I think they gave the analogy that when your cells aren't hydrated, they're all crumpled up, and when you have a peptide that's trying to get into it, it basically just bounces off because there's nothing to accept it. But if it's plump and able, hydrated, able to accept all of that, it's an easier process of it actually being able to move within the cells. Now, the other thing is that the electrolytes provided are actually the ones that do a lot of the making the peptides cross the cells. Sodium, potassium, those things actually help with that synthesis. So it's doing that as well. Of course, maintain fluid balance and hydration. It's essential for muscle function. So if we're dehydrated and we're trying to build muscle and do these things, it's not going to perform like you're supposed to. So it's definitely necessary. I mean, the average, what you're supposed to drink of water in a day is half of your body weight. So if you weigh, 160 pounds, you should be at least minimal drinking 80 ounces of water a day. It's a better and faster hydration than water alone. So adding this into your normal daily water intake is just going to make things work better. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I read that I did not know, but its composition is similar to the human plasma. So it makes it effective as a hydration drink.
Wow.
Yeah. And 75% of adults suffer the effects of dehydration.
Right.
And only 30%, it causes a 30% decrease in performance.
Especially as you get older.
Yeah. So if you're not, if you're an athlete, you're not hydrating properly,
Right.
It's a 30% decrease in your performance, just right off the bat from being dehydrated.
Huh.
And I have a customer who takes one of the
Ozempic shots or what, I'm not sure which one she's on, and every so often she has to go in and get IVs because she doesn't drink enough fluid.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
So that's, so work in the ER, did you give this to your son?
Yes.
For athletic?
Yeah, I
Do
do.
you do it?
For baseball, yes, I give it to
Okay.
them. For
Yeah.
my boys.
Mm-hmm.
So you said about the dehydration and the Ozempic and everything. So as an ER doctor, I think one of the things that drew me to this was I see all the side effects of the Ozempic, the Mounjaro, all of those injectables. I've seen people in renal failure. I've seen people needed to be admitted for they can't stop vomiting, chronic diarrhea from taking these meds. And so it's causing, and this isn't everybody that it happens to, but it's causing these other problems. And so this, you know, being able to take this maybe with an Ozempic could help with that hydration and keep your kidney function better because you're not getting as dehydrated. So it is definitely beneficial. There was a question because the initial hydrated is a grapefruit type flavor. That some medications interact with grapefruit, so they tell you not to take grapefruit with certain things. This has no interaction because of what it is. It's just the flavor, and it has no other interaction whatsoever. So if you're taking medication,
What is it sweetened with? Like, it's not that
Stevia. And it's from plant. There's a list, and I don't think it's in this, but there's a list of things that they don't use. There's no aspartame. There's no
This is safe.
sucralose. There's none of that stuff in it.
So it's fine for, you know how some of fake sugars.
It's fine for diabetics, if that's what you're about to ask. The calorie content in any of these is less than 10 calories. The carb is usually 1 carb or less. And so there's no effect on really if you're counting macros, doing the carbs, protein up, it's not gonna affect that at all. Oh, and right now, there's a new flavor, which is tropical, and it's delicious.
I mix my fit and hydrate.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mix my fit and hydrate together every day in the morning. Fit's not like my ultimate favorite, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. See, Jamie loves it. So I just mix it. And hydrate just calms it down. And I don't want to, I just want to knock them out.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's a lot of drinks. I just want to knock it out. But I find now,
You wanna finish? All right, you wanna finish? Anything else in the hydrate? Any other questions in the hydrate? All right, Calm is our last peptide support product. And I will tell y'all, I take Calm every night before I go to bed. It is not a sleep medication. It's not a sleep thing. It's not meant for sleep. But what it basically does is it calms your CNS system and stops the overstimulated brain activity. So it kind of chills you out without making you sleepy. It doesn't make me sleepy, but it kind of stops me from thinking about 1,000 things a minute to be able to actually fall asleep and stay sleeping all night long. So there's GABA, L-theanine, lemon balm, and ashwagandha in this. Basically, what it does is it promotes relaxation. It calms the CMS, decrease overstimulated brain. It protects from antioxidant stress. It decreases cortisol levels to balance your mood, create a sense of calm, and it promotes the generation of alpha brain waves, which cause relaxed alertness. So you're still awake. It's not supposed to make you sleepy, and but you're calmer than you would have been before. The L-theanine too, it actually helps to decrease stress, decrease anxiety, and it's good for cardiovascular health. So some other extra properties in there. And I guess the only drawback to this one, pregnant people cannot take it because of the ashwagandha. They're not supposed to take, pregnant people aren't supposed to take that.
What?
Ashwagandha. But Calm is also, it's not a mix in with anything or a pill. It's like a pixie stick. You basically pour it on your tongue and it works like that. I mean, there's not a lot to say about this one, but it's kind of one of my favorite ones. I take it every day.
And I do have a little story to say. This is how I know it works. So the day that it came in, my kids came in, they're teenagers, older teenagers. And they were fighting and just, it was like a big hot mess. And I was like really overstimulated. I'd already been at work all day. And I remembered I had those, and they were like wanting me to fix their problem for them. I'm like, I can't talk to y'all right now. So, yeah, like I can't. So I was like, I'm gonna take this calm because I was kind of getting overstimulated. And I took it, and literally within 5 minutes, I was like,
Wow.
okay, I can deal with this. And then I slept really good that night.
Yeah.
Because I had trouble sleeping. I slept really good that night. It didn't make me sleepy, like you said, and now I take it every
I do.
evening.
I take it every evening, probably, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour before I go to bed. And like it doesn't make me sleepy, but I like the way I feel, so I can relax enough to go to sleep. I put my little sleep thing on and listen to the voice talking to me, and I'm out not sleep throughout the whole night.
And what I like about this too is it's not melatonin. And so melatonin's a hormone, and so that's got another whole issue with it too. So it's not melatonin. So I feel like it's a little less, I don't know, potential for side effects.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You give this to kids?
I have given it to my kid.
Just saying.
Can I be at your house?
So everything is older than 18,
I give
but
the students about that. No, just
I mean,
We're gonna have calm.
you can, I mean, talking to your doctor, or, I mean, looking at ingredients and deciding for yourself if
Yeah.
it's something that you feel comfortable giving.
But I didn't know that it improved focus and concentration. It's
When you're well rested.
But it makes,
I guess
it makes if you're calm,
when you're calm,
you think
can
before you
actually
do your
yeah, I
focus.
see.
It all-
Okay.
So, y'all, somebody asked earlier what I take. So I do take them all. So, usually when I wake up in the morning, I take my lean. It's one of the first things I do. I bring my kids to school. I go to my bar class at 8:30. I get home. I mix my Fit and my Hydrate, and I drink those together. Focus. For me, that time depends, because honestly, if I'm not going to be doing something during the day, I don't feel like I need to take something extra. It's just, for me, it doesn't, but it's meant to be taken every day, and it's safe to be taken every day. So if you want to, that's definitely fine. And then the Energize is one that I only use as needed, because I get the caffeine with the Fit. I sometimes like to have my cup of coffee still in the morning, so that's a little bit extra caffeine as well. So the Energize for me is just kind of a extra, maybe let's have this, maybe not. And then the Calm, like I said, I take every evening before bed. So it is safe to take them all. You can take them all together. They all perform different activities. Some kind of help each other. But all right. Any other questions about the peptides themselves?
It's not a question, but I will say, before I noticed any weight gone, I noticed completely how I felt and how I physically felt. And when I would come home from teaching, I wasn't tired. I mean, I just still had energy to kind of, my husband would say, "Are you tired?" I'm like, "I bet you're so tired." I'm like, I'm not. I'm not tired. Now by Thursday, I'm tired. I'm totally tired. But like, I'm not tired, and I just can tell that it has given me so much help. I just feel good.
And what do you take?
I take lean. I do the exact same thing. I do lean in the mornings, and then I'll mix me a water bottle of Fit and Hydrate, shake it up, drink it throughout the day. Try to drink fast, so my next water bottle can be just like, water that I just sip on.
The Fit and the Hydrate.
I love the way Fit and Hydrate taste together.
me too.
I just love that
And
taste.
what time do you take that one?
And actually,
I take it I drink it throughout the morning as I teach. I learned if you do it in a smaller bottle, if you do it more in the Mate bottle that Melanie gave us, that's the best. That is the best bottle.
Yeah.
I love that bottle.
That's the perfect
So-
amount for one packet.
My
I would say
husband
two
takes the
and like
Fit,
maybe a bigger box.
and he is not a fan of the orange taste.
Right.
He just doesn't really like it. So he just mixes it in a little bit, and basically,
Takes a shot.
takes a shot. And
Yeah.
it's not a shot because he does a little bit more, but
Yeah.
he just drinks it fast and gets it over with. And so, I mean, I don't mind the taste. I like the taste.
Yeah.
So, I just
Talk
drink
about
it
the
like
mix
normal.
stuff or-
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to tell y'all local people this. And so we partnered with a weight loss center here in Baton Rouge called Baton Rouge Medical Center. And we encourage everyone, if your gym does not have it, but you need a BMI, you do need, and so you can go to that locally, and it's $10.
Where is that woman?
It's on Jefferson. No, it's on Jefferson.
Jefferson.
And we'll give you the address, but you can go for $10, and you can get your body scan. You can get your visceral fat, you can get your muscle mass, you can get your hydration, and all of this will measure. And then you come back next month, pay $10 again, and see where the changes are. Because you can't look at the scale with these products. You can't look at you have to really look how you feel physically, but you do want to measure your inches, because that I lost inches, my thighs, my butt, my hips, chest, waist.
Where on Jefferson? Do you mind? Like, is it? Is it?
With the address, it's.
Yeah, we can
it's,
just stick you there.
Louisiana Medical Group. And
Yes.
It's
By the church, right? Methodist church, by my house.
yeah. So from here on out, every customer that I get from here on out, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
please go there
'Cause
real
it
quick.
is hard
$10.
to You
And-
can't fluctuate.
Yeah, my good friend in Nashville, who is like, picky about everything, I'm like, please just go get a body scan so we can look at what the data says and not what the scale says.
Right.
So
So it's right at the corner of Bluebonnet.
Yeah, that is.
Jefferson.
Bluebonnet
Is
Jefferson.
it in that little
Oh, is
shopping
it the
center?
woman's?
There is a shopping center,
Yeah.
and it is closest to
Yeah, I
Jefferson.
think I
I mean,
And he's
I
gonna
would love- Are they
push
open on the
Louisiana
weekends?
Medical Group.
No, I think they're Monday-
456 Jefferson Highway, yeah.
Yes, that's what.
Yes, there.
Okay, what's it called? Louisiana.
Louisiana Medical Group.
Okay.
9456
Okay,
Jefferson.
thank you.
and $10 each month.
As much as you want to go.
Oh yeah. Okay, you can go multiple times. You just pay $10 for that 1 month to
And you don't have to say who's good.
Yeah. You just say, hey, I want to, I'm, with Jill, Melanie, and I want to
And I wanna get my body scan spots.
I wanna get my body scan.
Men and women, it's not a women's group, right?
No, it's men and women.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not the woman.
I was thinking women.
Any other questions for Dr. Baker before we close?
Oh, I do have a question. I'm sorry.
No, no.
Focus.
Yeah.
Can people take that if they're taking a stimulant? Or Concerta or something like that? I just haven't run across that before. Like,
It
I've
shouldn't,
seen-
because it's not supposed to interact with any of it.
Okay, so they
So-
could take it.
I know it's my
Increase
favorite.
their dose or something.
Yeah, yeah, should be able to. The only other thing, I guess, a lot of us, some of us here are already affiliates. This month, Peak Performance Plus Pack. If you have not gotten your products this month, get the Peak Performance Plus Pack. Especially if you take all the products, it gives you an advance to go to the trip in November. It gives you $100 off the next convention. Water bottle. All the products are discounted, like a $900 value for $449 tonight. Tomorrow it goes up to $449. But that pack's only for affiliates, but they do have the Peak Performance for customers, and then the 2 other collections, the Mind and Motivation, and then the Muscle and Metabolic. Subscription gives you 10% off, free shipping. After 3 months, it's 20% off for affiliates and customers, so that's the same. No sign up fee for affiliates or customers. So my take on all of that is, if you think at any point in the next year you might want to sell anything, join as an affiliate, get the Peak Performance Plus, and if you do it in the month of March, you are eligible for over $100,000 in bonuses.
So how
over
many
the
days
next
do we
year.
have? What's the date? Oh, 17.
Yeah.
The Peak Performance Plus, the one that's available to us, I mean, if you have a customer that wants that, it's just a regular Peak Performance.
It's just the right Peak Performance, because the Plus isn't for customers, correct? Plus isn't for customers,
Peak Performance.
so just the
I
Peak
see.
Performance.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's that same price with all those other added benefits if you
Right.
are an affiliate, yes.
yeah.
But only through tonight.
But $449.
Yes, the
Yeah.
$449.
Which
But the prescribing say it's 3.
Yeah,
So if
Right,
somebody
yeah,
wanted to
right.
use it
Not the peak
consistently,
performance. The peak performance